All right, so your nervous system, what even is it? Well, picture this. You've got your brain, your spinal cord, and this entire network of tiny little wires, your nerves running out to every single part of your body. They're constantly firing off messages, carrying signals from your toes to your brain and back again, all without you having to think about it. Seriously, your nervous system is like the ultimate behind-the-scenes crew, keeping the show running while you're distracted watching Netflix. If you've ever wondered what's actually going on in there, you're in the right place. Welcome to Think Bits, where we take big, complicated science ideas, break them down into bite-sized chunks, and usually sprinkle in some bad jokes along the way. So, let's get into how this whole thing works. At the most basic level, your nervous system is built out of cells called neurons. These are the MVPs, the building blocks, the spark plugs of the whole operation. The best way to think of a neuron is like a sparkler on the 4th of July. Most of the time, it's just sitting there. Then, in an instant, it lights up, shoots off a flash, and passes that energy down the line. That quick burst, that's your signal. But here's the question. What makes the sparkler go off? And once it does, how on earth does that signal get from one neuron to the next? Here's where it gets fun. Every neuron carries an electrical charge, kind of like a tiny biological battery. At rest, it's hanging out, chilling, waiting for something interesting to happen. Then comes the stimulus. Maybe you touch something hot. Maybe your brain decides to move your hand. Maybe you just blink. That input causes the neuron's membrane channels to open up. Suddenly, positively charged sodium ions rush in, flooding the inside of the cell. When enough sodium enters, the neuron hits what scientists call the threshold. And once it crosses that line, boom, it has no choice. It has to fire. That firing is called an action potential, and here's the best analogy. It's just like a toilet flush. You can nudge the handle lightly or you can slam it, but either way, it either flushes or it doesn't. You don't get half a flush. Same with neurons. The signal either goes all the way or nothing happens at all. Once it fires, that electrical impulse zips down the neuron's axon, the long tail-like extension of the cell like a tiny bolt of lightning. When the action potential reaches the end of the neuron, it faces a challenge. The signal can't just leap across to the next cell. There's a microscopic gap called a synapse. Think of it like a train station with no tracks between the platforms. To bridge the gap, the neuron releases neurotransmitters, tiny chemical messengers that cross the synapse and land on receptors of the next neuron. These neurotransmitters are like text messages, telling the receiving cell what to do. Here's the cool part. Not every neurotransmitter says the same thing. Some are excitatory, basically shouting, "Go, fire, do it." Neurotransmitters like glutamate are the hype squad of the nervous system. Others are inhibitory, more like, "Chill out, don't fire." That's where neurotransmitters like GABA step in. Your brain is basically running on a non-stop group chat of yes, go and nah, stay calm, all happening at lightning speed. And that's the loop. Electrical signal, chemical message, electrical signal again. It's a never-ending chain reaction. One neuron fires, sends the message across, the next one picks it up, and so on. This game of telephone is incredibly fast, so fast that you don't even notice it happening. You touch a hot stove, and before you even have time to think, your hand yanks back. That's your nervous system running its reflex circuits before your brain even gets a word in. But the nervous system doesn't stop at reflexes. It's literally responsible for everything you feel, do, and perceive. That buzzing sensation when your foot falls asleep, nervous system. The butterflies before a big presentation, nervous system. Even the simple awareness of sitting in your chair right now, yep, that's millions of neurons quietly doing their job. Think about how wild that is. Your entire experience of the world's sight, sound, touch, taste, even memory and thought comes down to electrical impulses and chemical texts firing between tiny cells. And it all runs on water, salt, and some charged particles. No batteries required, just biology doing its thing. So the next time you're amazed by how quickly you can react to a situation, or how effortlessly you process the world around you, remember the hidden orchestra inside you. Your nervous system is always on, always working, always connecting every part of you to every other part. It's one of the most complex, powerful systems in nature, and you get to carry it around with you every day. Honestly, that's pretty impressive. Welcome to your nervous system, nature's ultimate communication network. the fastest texting service you'll ever use, and the reason you're able to listen, think, laugh, and live.